What's up? I have a question for you actually. Do you remember being a kid? Well, today you and I are going to be exploring some of the cringy stuff that I used to draw and write when I was a kid. All of this was dated 2016 to 2017, so I was like 9, 10, 11 years old. I don't know, I'm bad at math, but yeah, I was young. I know you're dying to meet these characters, so let's introduce them and get into it. The story today is called Cat Camp. There is four characters and three pages, so I know as much as you guys do. So there's Megan, who's the main character, and she's Zachary's little sister. She's 16. Zachary, who is Megan's older brother, who's 20. Chloe, who is Megan's best friend. I'm gonna make her 16. And Carter is Zachary's best friend, and I'm gonna make him 20. I have no idea what the story is going about, so I hope that we can make it more clear and cohesive. And yeah, let's go. Okay, first off, I just want to mention that I did not make them into cat people. I am so sorry. I just can't. I have to practice that a little bit more, and it being on this, a childhood drawing, I just couldn't. I couldn't. So the first person I am drawing is Megan. She is 16. Um, I made note that at 16, Zachary, her older brother, went to the military. So the story now is when they turned 16, similar to Boku no Hero and a little bit like Divergent, when they turned 16, their big cat Sona, what is it called? Like power, I guess, forms. So they can transform into a big cat. They are like cat hybrid, kind of like werewolves, but I don't know what the terminology that is for cats. Megan is a lioness. They're very caring and independent, and I think that just suits Megan a lot. And when they go into the military, it is training for 1 year. So I have no idea why Zachary stayed for 4 years. I'm thinking maybe like he did it by choice, and the only reason why Megan is so upset about that is because he didn't contact her. And also, when he came home, he came with Carter, and Carter's obviously a bad influence. Now I'm drawing Chloe. Chloe is a black leopard. She is the strongest out of all of the cat species because that is the most sought out for. They're elusive, they're agile, they're strong, and yeah, so she is technically the strongest out of these four. I also wanted to make note that her and Carter have no romantic tension or anything like that. That's no, because if they're best friends, Zach and Carter, then I'm assuming Carter is also 20. And I'm not having a 20-year-old and 16-year-old. No. No, 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 no. I don't think back then I even thought about that. I didn't even give them ages. I just think I just wanted some sort of romantic thing. Now I'm drawing Carter. Carter is a bobcat. I will explain that later. But Carter is just kind of just like the jokester. He knows how to lighten up the room, but also cause it to be very tense because he causes a lot of issues with his jokes. I really just don't like Carter. I actually, it's the thing. I like Carter and I don't like Carter. So it's a love-hate relationship. Also, look at me filming like a speed paint in the right format. Hello. Each of them have these markings. I don't necessarily know exactly what these markings may mean. I'm thinking it's just like they form depending on maybe like family, or maybe they start to form at when they start to find their cat Sona thing. I don't know. I don't know if the placement means anything. I did put one on like Chloe's hip and stuff. I also wanted to make note that Megan's very shy, she's kind of reserved, but everyone knows that she's very sweet. Chloe is very outspoken, she's very confident, and yeah. Okay, now I'm drawing Zachary. So I wanted them to be looking at each other. Megan is kind of mad at Zachary, like he just didn't come home, he didn't contact her, but she also loves her big brother and misses him. And I think I wanted to give him a kind of sad but also cold expression. So Zachary is a leopard, and leopards and lions are kind of rivals. I'll explain that a little bit later too. I just really wanted him to just kind of be like this normal guy. He's not like super strong, but he's not super weak. He can hold himself pretty well. He's kind of like just average. But there's nothing wrong with that. So I mentioned Divergent earlier. So when they get of age and Divergent, they kind of choose their faction. So in this, they don't really get a choice. I mean, they do get a choice. I think it's a very independent world, but each of their assigned or not assigned, each of their cat Sona things have a kind of a sought out role. So black leopards are usually like the spies or like the ambushers or just the overall like power, and bobcats are similar, but they are smaller, so they're kind of used for scoping out the area, doing that. Leopards are kind of like the average. They're used for good combat, they're very agile, but lions, especially lionesses, are usually used for medical anything, doctors, nurses, combat nurse, or whatever. I think because they're very caring, also very independent, so they're able to nurture the injured. And I think Megan honestly likes this role. She's always wanted to help and she always wanted to fulfill those needs. Nobody obviously has a choice over what cat Sona they form. It's all random, it's all maybe genetics, maybe like two leopard parents, you're obviously going to be a leopard. But sometimes it's more random, just like how you would think Megan and Zach would have similar or the same cat Sona, they don't. And I don't have an explanation for that. Also, when I say cat Sona, I'm not talking about werewolves, how they turn into like a humanoid wolf. They turn into literal big cats. Like how Twilight werewolves turn into literal wolves, like that. Like they turn into cats like Narnia, like hello. Also, I think the uniform colors also represent what you are inside of the military-esque. Like, Megan has red and she's the medic, so. I know you might be wondering, like, what's with all this free space? And what I want to do is draw their animal forms. I'm not the best at drawing cat heads or any heads or anything like that. I did trace the anatomy just so I wasn't like proportionally off. But yeah, like I mentioned before, Zachary is a leopard and Megan is a lioness. Though they're not enemies, they are often in a feud because of, like prey and stuff. That's how it is in the wild. So I didn't want to make them like total rivals, but there is some conflict going on. And for Carter, I chose Bobcat. I don't know. He just seemed like a Bobcat. I never like really put much thought into it. I just immediately was like, he's so Bobcat like. Like I feel like he's kind of like a spaz and like he's able to sneak around and I don't know. He's also sought after because he's like the opposite of Chloe, I guess, but like also the same, just smaller. But he's just not as strong. But he's also very agile and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know. He's very Bobcat like. I don't know. But Chloe, the beautiful Chloe, is definitely the black leopard, or just like I don't know. What else is the panther? No, I don't know. But yeah, I did have a lot of trouble with his spots. I don't know. They kind of look painted on. I don't know. They don't look like they're in the fur, which I'm not the proudest of, but I am proud of this lioness. Holy, I actually love it so much. I didn't want to draw it with the mouth open, so I did close it. I do wish I got a little bit more better fur texture going on, but that's okay. I'm not like super upset about it or like uh what is the word? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, fixated. That's the word. Yeah, I'm not really fixated on it. I do really like how she came out. I really love that they're just looking at each other and it's like you can't tell if it's like what the expression is because they're cats. I also did give all of them the same eye colors of, their human forms because that made a little bit more sense to me. But yeah, I really love how this line came out, especially with the overlays. It's so good. I'm so proud of myself. Now this bobcat. At the end, the bobcat did come out well, but when I was drawing it, holy, I was having so much trouble because this drawing has a little bit of a blue lighting to it, so it was kind of throwing me off on how I wanted it to actually look. Um, so it did end up a little bit more bluish grayish than I wanted. I should have maybe probably gotten another reference photo, but I think in the end, I kind of went a little bit more freehand with this and decided, no, this is what it's gonna look like. And yeah, in the end, I think it did end up pretty well. And I think every time I add the whiskers, it helps a lot. I also didn't forget to draw his scarf. I mean, I did it first, but obviously. Now, this black leopard, holy, I love how they look, but I'm so bad at rendering anything dark colored. So like you'll always see like if I have a character with black hair, it's dark gray. So I can actually add like black to shadows and like lighter gray to highlight, and I'm so bad at rendering black. I just can't. So it did come out a little strange and it does look a little bit like a drag queen. I think I fixed it up. Yeah, I definitely did fix it up. But yeah, it didn't end up the worst. It's definitely the worst out of all of these. But yeah, I spent 8 hours on this in total. I am really proud of myself for being able to interpret it like this. And I really hope that, I don't know, my childhood self likes it. I mean, she definitely would. She definitely would be mad that I didn't make them into cat people. But and probably remove the romance. And it's also nothing to do with cat camp. I don't know. I'm sorry. She probably would be a little upset, but I think she would like it. I like it. I'm glad that I put the effort into it, and I'm glad that you guys here were here to, enjoy it with me. I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I have plenty of art. This is only just a couple more examples. If this is like a highly sought out thing, I wouldn't mind doing a part two. I would actually encourage it. I have to go find more art other than the ones that were in the same notebook as this. But yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to do this, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys stay happy and healthy, and hopefully I see you next time. Bye!